Hey, welcome back, Military Journeyman Julian here, and in this video I want to talk about something that you guys have been asking me hundreds of times potentially, and that's why I didn't become a rescue swimmer in the Coast Guard. So I think it's important to go back to when I first decided to join the Coast Guard, and this was back in high school. So when I was around 17 or 18 years old, I decided to join, and I didn't really have any plan or what I wanted to do outside of the civilian world. The civilian jobs just didn't sound interesting to me. Like, I didn't want to, be an accountant. I didn't want to be a teacher. I didn't want to do any of these things. So when I heard about the Coast Guard and the different types of jobs that were available, becoming a rescue swimmer sounded kind of interesting. During that time, I was working out a lot and I was trying to, get bigger. I'm a small guy, so I was trying to work out, trying to put on muscle so I could, be attractive to the ladies and stuff like that. But essentially, I found being a rescue swimmer as being something super interesting, and I think it was that switch, that mindset switch of I can finally work towards something that I can put all of my energy into. And it really was kind of like that first initial spark, like that first passion that I had was to, train and work towards something. So I started going to the gym every day. I started working out a lot more. I started learning. I had to teach myself how to run. I had to teach myself how to swim. And all of that was, joining the Coast Guard. So I had to do all of these things when I wanted to join. But I knew, like, okay, boot camp, I have to make it through boot camp because that's just the first step. And then after that, I'm going to go to my unit, and then I'm going to train some more, and then I'm going to go to rescue summer school. I thought if I couldn't pass a boot camp, there's no way I'm going to be able to pass rescue summer school. So when I went through boot camp, physically, I was able to, do pretty well, do really well. Mentally, it was definitely a different challenge. I definitely struggled when I was in boot camp mentally, just because of that whole mindset switch. But I ended up graduating, making it through boot camp, and got to my first unit, and I was training and I was working out even harder. I was swimming for like an hour a day, in the gym for an hour a day, and I do cardio for 30 minutes. So I was spending up to like 3 hours a day working out, which is part of rescue summer school. When you go to rescue summer school, you're going to be working out all day. That's part of what rescue summer school is. And again, throughout this whole time, that was my one goal. I had all of my energy focused on this one thing, and that was working on my breathing, working on all these things. I started learning about all these different things too, like meditation. I started meditating more. I started doing yoga. I started working out, and I started training my body and conditioning it a way that I never did before. And for me, it really just was fulfilling because I could spend all of my time and all of my energy on this one particular thing. For a kid coming out of high school that didn't know what he wanted to do, just having like the sole focus to be able to be like, this is what I want and this is what I'm going to go after. The types of people that really do well and become successful and can graduate from rescue summer school are the ones that have like the single-minded mentality, because that's all they want, that's all they're training for. So it's like your diet. I was dieting and I was counting all my calories. I was working out just so much and really trying to push my body and my mind to another level. So when I went to rescue summer school, it was kind of like when you're going to a performance and you have to go and do this audition, and this is your time, except the people that are judging you are also screaming at you and telling you that you should push harder and that you're not trying enough and really trying to push you past your limits. Throughout the whole time that I was there, I was really nervous, but everybody starts praying, everybody starts really focusing and trying to, calm their mind. This is where I fell back to where I was doing a lot more of that meditation, doing a lot more of that, just that inner work, praying, really just trying to focus and remember, you're just going to keep swimming, you're just going to keep working out, you're just going to keep going, and constantly just trying to find ways to be able to relax, calm down, and stay focused. There was this one thing that did get me though, and that was this workout that I did not prepare for and I did not know. Had I known of this workout, I could have been training for this and prepared myself, but it was something that I just did not see coming, and that was the brick on side workout. So for those of you that know what I'm talking about, let me just explain it real quick. But you have this brick, and they call the brick a baby, and you're supposed to swim on your side, and you have this brick that you're supposed to be holding out of the water like it's a baby, and you're supposed to do a side stroke. For me, I'm a really light guy, and I just wasn't really strong in that workout. For some reason, I wasn't able to go very far as everybody's kind of speeding past with this brick and going, to one end to the other. I was really, really strong. Like, I wasn't moving. The amount of time that it take for me to get halfway through the pool, other people were able to get back and forth. So I don't know why for me it was so challenging, but it was, and that got into my head. So that test was probably around the first week, towards the end of the first week, and that was one of our water confidence trainings. So that really dug in the back of my mind, like knowing like, oh my gosh, this workout's going to come up again. All the other workouts I was doing really well with, except this one thing, and it really just started eating me away. So the water confidence happens periodically throughout your training. They'll just be like, okay, we're going to do a water confidence, does anybody want to quit? And nobody quits, and then you go through the water confidence training, and this is where people start to break down. So it was towards the end of the third week of the training, and I was feeling really confident, but I also knew like this thing is happening again. And actually, one of my instructors at swimmer school came up to me and he says, all right, Julian, now's your time. Here's your time to face your Goliath. And I knew what he meant. I knew what he meant right there, because he knew that I was struggling with that workout. And when it came time, they brought out the bricks and we started going, and I just wasn't moving. And in my mind, I just started racing really quick, and I thought, am I ready for this right now? And I thought in my mind, just like in an instant, like it's almost like life flashes before your eyes. And I said, I'm not ready for this right now. I'm gonna come back. So I dropped the brick and I said, I'm not ready for this. I'm gonna have to tap out. And and that was essentially it. I said, I can't do this. And then they started going through the process of getting me to a new unit. So when I was going through the process of getting my new unit, they said that I was going to be going to a buoy tender up in Maine. And so for me, that was really good because, I'd still be able to train. Buoy tender in Maine is not a bad deal because buoy tenders have a really good work schedule. And I'd be able to go to the gym and work out. So I thought, okay, this is a good location. They gave me a list of places that I could pick from. This was my number one pick. So I had already picked where I wanted to go, and I called my mom and I say, hey mom, I'm going to be going up to Maine. I dropped out of rescue swimmer school. And at that time, my mom told me, your dad's cancer came back and he's only got a year left from what the doctors told him. So I told the administration, the person that gave me the orders for Maine, like, hey, is it possible if there's anything open in Florida? And she gave me a new list, and she found a unit in Florida that was really close to home, and that was where I was at St. Pete, or I started this YouTube channel. So because of that person, I was able to be close to home, and I was able to go home every weekend and spend time with my family. So when I got sent down to Florida to be with my family, I was able to be there every weekend, and I get to spend as much time as I could. And during that time for a year, I really wasn't thinking of going back to swimmer school because I just wanted to be with my family. And while I'm waiting, I'm also thinking and doing other things. Like I couldn't sit still. And even though I was still working out and training and trying to condition myself still, other things started coming up and other thoughts came into my head. That fear of going back started kind of creeping in. There definitely was a lot of negative self-talk, and that's one of the things that people don't talk about when you drop out of swimmer school is just the amount that it kind of eats you away. And it really was starting to eat me away, and I started looking at what other things might be available. So I thought, I wanted to be by the water, so I thought maybe I'd become an MST. And then at one point I said, okay, well, maybe I can become a yeoman. And I tried all these different thinking. I wanted all these different things. And I started figuring out about entrepreneurship during this time as well. So I started learning about like day trading, Forex, cryptocurrencies, mobile home investing. And this really took me down this whole path of entrepreneurship. During this time, I found my wife, and there's just a lot of things happening in my life, like, becoming married, my dad, getting progressively more sick, these thoughts of, am I really going to be able to become a rescue swimmer anymore, and then just kind of the negative self-talk of dropping out of swimmer school. There's a lot of things going on, and I was going to be getting out of the Coast Guard at this point, and then kind of last minute before I was just about to get out of the Coast Guard, I decided, okay, I'm going to go to ITA school and learn about technology because I didn't know anything about technology as I was developing this app, and I kind of got myself into a bit of trouble just putting a lot of money into something that I had no clue what it is that I was doing. So I go to ITA school, I graduate, I end up at this new unit, and during this whole time, I'm just thinking, okay, everything that I've tried before, the entrepreneurship, the rescue swimmer, all these things, I've failed at them, so maybe I'm just going to go to college, get my degree, do cybersecurity, and, just stay in the Coast Guard and do that. And I was basically just kind of saying like, okay, I've tried it all. I'm kind of burnt out now. I was honestly really tired and just kind of throwing up my hands, almost like going to college. It's like, okay, I give up. So that's what I did. I got my degree. Got the certifications, got to the unit that I wanted to end up at to be able to do cybersecurity. And it wasn't until we decided to purchase this house, the one that we moved into, where I just, that rediscovery of entrepreneurship came in. And that's when I started this podcast. That's when the videos really started slowing down on this channel, because I was focusing all my attention, again, on this one thing. So it wasn't until I discovered that really it wasn't about becoming a rescue swimmer that was so attractive to me. The idea of jumping out of helicopters and saving people, I mean, it's exciting. And as a young guy, that when I first joined the Coast Guard, like, that's what I wanted to do. But really, during this whole time, the 6 years that I've been doing a bunch of different things and trying different things, I always had that same passion that I had, very similar to when I wanted to become a rescue swimmer. And it was when I was focused on what I wanted to do. I wanted to become a marine science technician, and I had a passion to be able to do that. And I started researching and trying to find ways to be able to do that. When I wanted to become a Forex trader, when I wanted to get into stocks and cryptocurrencies, I spent all my attention and time on that thing. And I felt that fire, that passion to do that one thing. Even when I decided that I wanted to stay in the Coast Guard, maybe become an officer, get my degree, and do this whole cybersecurity thing, I had all my attention on that one thing. And again, that fire came back when I discovered about Airbnb and short-term rentals and entrepreneurship for podcasting and all these things. And it's been a year now that I've been doing that, and it's because I found, again, that one thing that I wanted to do. And that negative feeling of like I failed and I wasn't cut out for it, went away when I really found out that it wasn't necessarily becoming a rescue swimmer. It was trying different things and finding something that you're passionate about and pursuing that just like with a single-minded, just like tenacity. Like you're not going to give up on anything. This is all that you want to do. That's really kind of the big thing that I took away throughout this whole journey, was figuring out it's not about the end destination. It's not about becoming a rescue swimmer. It's about what it is. What do you want to do in life? Do you want to join the Coast Guard? Do you want to get your degree? Do you want to start a side business, a side hustle? Do you want that side hustle to become your full-time hustle? That's why I decided I didn't want to become a rescue swimmer anymore. And I like the lifestyle and the work schedule that I have now. It's a really good schedule. And a big thing for me is I like being able to communicate and create. Creating for me is the big thing that I love to do. I have friends that I went into boot camp with that ended up becoming rescue swimmers. And, I think it's so cool that they found what they wanted to do and they went after it, and they never shifted on that single goal. Their whole mindset was, I want to become a rescue swimmer. And even when they failed and failed and failed, they kept on going because that's the one thing that they wanted. For me, though, my mind was always shifting. Like after I put that thing down, I shifted onto another thing, and I kept on shifting until I found something that I wanted to do. And right now it's been Airbnb and short-term rentals. Maybe next year, next month, maybe it's something different. But I like what I'm doing now. I like my schedule, and for me, the big thing is I like being able to create things. So becoming a rescue swimmer for me is not something that I'm pursuing. It's not something that I'm interested in now. But I hope hearing my military journey inspires you to be able to focus on the thing that you want to do, and don't beat yourself up if that changes. Don't beat yourself up if you fail. If you really want that thing, you're going to keep on going after it. If you decide that that's not what you want to do anymore, then that's just not what you wanted to do, and there's something else. You don't have to beat yourself up. I beat myself up for a lot of years because I dropped out and because, I said that I failed. And yes, I did quit that thing, and yes, I didn't keep on pursuing it. I know that if I wanted to keep on going after it, though, I could. Maybe you're just trying to join the Coast Guard and you're finding those obstacles with trying to reach a recruiter, or maybe you've gone through boot camp and maybe you ended up getting dropped out and you're feeling disappointed or feeling like you failed. I want you to know that you're not a failure, that you can go through it, that these things can change your life. You know, going to summer school changed my life. Graduating boot camp changed my life. Ending up at the unit where I am now changed my life. And it's because of the decisions that I made to where I am today that's allowed me to be able to have the life that I have now. And I know the decisions that I'm making today are going to be the ones that help shape me into where I will be in the future. And that's why this channel is called Military Journeyman, because we all have our journeys. And I believe that the military allows you to be able to help get you to where you want to go in life. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, would love to hear from you guys about where you are in your journey and if this story inspired you. I'll talk to y'all next time. Peace out.